So you can clearly tell that Ruffy in the Riverside is heavily inspired by the likes of Banjo-Kazooie, Mario Odyssey, Mario 64, what game isn't at this point, and a plethora of other 3D platformers, but it's what it sets out to do differently that makes this game so special, what makes this game so fun. I've been playing Ruffy in the Riverside, I've been enjoying the heck out of it, and yeah, I have to talk about it. So as I mentioned, there are a lot of things that make this game special, and with today's video, I want to focus on those special things. And first and foremost, the visuals of this video game are truly off the chart, man. No, seriously, as soon as you boot up the game, you are just immediately greeted with just the most charming looking cast of characters, the most bumpin' main theme I've heard all summer. It is immediately special, right? As soon as just the first impression is just, oh my goodness gracious, it's so good. And look, this isn't even the first time we've seen 2D sprites hanging around a 3D environment, right? There's been other 3D platformers that have done this in the past, but there's something about the way Ruffy does it. And I think it has to do with the animations, right? There's so many frames of animation, and it's constantly moving too. Ruffy as a character is constantly moving, right? His idle animation, he's bumping all the time, and I really like that. I really like the energy of this game, the flow of this game. Nothing feels still, where I think other 2D sprite-based games can kind of feel a little static, and this just never does. There's always this flow, there's always this energy, and again, the music also is just super good. I found myself constantly just pausing in the middle of levels and just listening to the tunes, man. The Tree of Life theme, super emotional. The main theme, obviously, it's still stuck in my head. I find myself humming it in the shower constantly. There's a lot of great music in this game, like stuff that just earworms, man. Stuff that just gets stuck in your head. And just thinking about it now, like the beach theme, there's the Bale theme. There's so many great moments of music in this game. It's ingrained into the world. The music's always changing too. Pretty much every single environment, there's some new music playing, and I really love that. The game just has such a strong identity. I know I say this a lot in my videos, like something that I look for in new IP, new games, is identity. Like, what is this game's character? What is this game doing differently that sets it apart from other games? And this game just does it in spades right off the bat. As soon as you're introduced to this world, you're introduced to these characters, and believe me, there's a lot of characters, and this is a big world. The game kind of immediately tells you that. There's a lot of dialogue as well. Like, there's an actual story here. This stuff is well thought out, and I love that about it. It took me a little while to get used to. Like, I like, oh, this is a different kind of 3D platformer. Like, I'm reading a lot of subtitles here, and it took me a little bit to fall into the pace of how the game flows, but once when I did, I started to really appreciate it, you know? And again, it's not just like, oh, cool 2D sprites running around, it's how they look too. Like, Ruffy as a character to me just looks iconic. Edler looks iconic. There's so many great looking characters in this game. There's so many great looking environments in this game. And again, the music is very different and very, like, I've never heard tracks like these before. There's a lot of vocal tracks as well. There's like weird, like kind of freestyle rap tracks that are really cool. There's so many great moments where you're like, wow, like this feels so original. And again, in the world that we live in right now, that's kind of rare. And I think that is probably my favorite part of this game, is its strong identity. I think Zockates did such a good job of just making this game feel alive, right? It's making these characters feel alive. So the crazy part is, I actually haven't even talked about the main thing that like sets this game apart from other 3D platformers, and that is the swap mechanic. Yeah, if you've never seen Ruffy in the Riverside, if you've never watched the trailers or never played this game, in this game you can essentially swap textures of objects around the world. I can turn a tree into stone, I can turn a big boulder into a big piece of wood, I can turn a down arrow into an up arrow, and yeah, there's a lot of that happening in this game. It took me a sec to kind of open my eyes to how this game is going to work, right? At first you're just playing around like, oh yeah, I'll turn this tree red, or I'll turn these apples red so I can get the coins or whatever, or I'm swapping the paintings. The game kind of slowly introduces the mechanic to you. It doesn't ask you to do too much of it until later on. It gives you the option to, right? You're immediately thrown puzzle after puzzle, right? This is a big world. These are big level. It's one big map. There's a huge map in this game where it's like, go, like start exploring pretty much right off the bat. And you're, as a player, kind of immediately overwhelmed because there's just things tugging you at every single direction. There's puzzles everywhere. There's collectibles to find everywhere. And it's really, really fun. It reminds me of like Mario 64, man, jumping into Bomb Bomb Battlefield. Like, oh my goodness, look how big this level is. Or especially like Banjo-Kazooie, just like standing on a cliffside and looking down and just being like, wow, like this whole level's just laid out before me. I see things moving in the distance that I can collect. And that's so exciting as a player. But with the swap mechanic, again, it's a little bit overwhelming in a good way, I would definitely recommend playing the story for a quick beat, at least the first hour or two, or until the game introduces its first real big level to the player. It takes a sec for the game to kind of get going, to be honest with you. But once when you start understanding sort of the rules of the world and how these elements and these textures interact with each other, the game really starts to find its flow. I love how levels work in this game. Again, it is a very big map. I was surprised when I saw the map. I was like, oh my goodness gracious, is this game open world? And it kind of is. All of the levels are interconnected. Everything is interconnected in this world, and I love that. You go to the top of a cliff, you could look down, you can see the main like Riverside town, you can see that mountain you were at before, and I really, really love that. I love spatial context in my video games. I love feeling like I've been there and now I'm here. It feels like this is a big adventure. And the game does that quickly. Like you're immediately going far away very quickly. And I do really love that. I love that aspect. But the actual levels are really interesting and very different. So far, every level has been vastly different from each other. The first level, you crash land on this big island, and there's a lot of puzzles to solve. You're trying to find your way off this island, and you can't get a hold of any ice. You're trying to freeze the water so you can get to the other side, and you can't get a hold of any ice. How are you going to get ice? And I won't spoil it. It goes places. The game definitely goes places and gets a little abstract. I kind of like how abstract some of the level design and some of the characters are in this game. There's some wacky moments in this game that will actually surprise you, and I really love that. I also love some of the tasks that you're doing in this game. There's some chores in this game. There's some like fetch quests for sure, where it's like, go do this before you do that, go do that before you do this, and that can become a little tiresome. But some of the things that you're doing are just so humorous to me. The humor in this game, there are moments where I'm actually legitimately laughing. Again, taking notes from something like Banjo, where this is a funny game. There are funny moments in this game. The game kind of consistently has you acting a little bit like a jerk. Sir Edler, this like mentor character in the game, is kind of a jerk. The game encourages stealing. The game encourages cheating, which is really, really funny. Like you're a good guy in the game. You're trying to save the world, but like you're kind of a little dirtbag. It really took me by surprise. It really took me by surprise when the game was like, hey, we don't have a way of getting a bail. Bails, by the way, in this game, I'm going all over. This game's overwhelming, man. Bails in this game are like Tony Hawk skateboards. You're running on like a bale of hay. And you can go up half pipes and go up ramps. There's bale racing. You can grind on these bales. But you have to get one first. And in order to get one, you have to steal it. You literally have to steal it from this poor guy. You have to wait until nighttime. You have to turn it nighttime. I won't tell you how to do that. And then you have to steal this guy's bale so you can participate in this race to win the bale, so that way you can get that bale, take it somewhere else, because once you unlock the bale, then you can go all over the level and hit grinds that you weren't able to do before. That's why I definitely recommend playing the story a little bit first, just that way the world really starts to open itself to you. But yeah, there's just a lot of point A to point B to point C to point D. Like there's a lot of that going on with how its levels are presented and how its tasks are presented. And it's done really cleverly. Again, it takes a little bit to kind of fall into the flow of it all. Like, oh, okay, this is how this game is going to work. It's not like, oh, jump into a painting and you're playing a level. It's very, again, everything's interconnected and everything is kind of freeform. But just to be clear, that's not to say that there isn't focused level design in this game. There are more traditional levels. There are certain parts of levels where you just can't even use the swap mechanic. There are levels where the whole perspective changes. I've done like top-down levels. There's 2D side-scrolling levels. There's also a mechanic in this game where you can hop inside walls, like Mario Odyssey style, and you're like a little 16-bit Ruffy, and that's really, really cool, and to solve those puzzles are really cool. There's collectibles everywhere, man. There's these little fur babies called the Etoy that are just kind of tucked away in all of these secret little places. There's these gems that you can find where you have to solve these like little gem shrine puzzles that are all like, it's basically a jigsaw puzzle, and every single time it's so fun. Every time it's fun, and every time I kind of struggle with it. Like, I'm always like, wait, hang on. Am I doing this? I gotta reset it again. Like, it always takes a little longer than it should for me. Look, the game is just an absolute joy and delight to play. I love the game's flow. I love the level design. The music is just fantastic. The art direction is... Look, I mean, Death Stranding just came out. I think that it's neck and neck, right? This game just looks absolutely incredible in terms of its visuals. Is it a perfect video game? Absolutely not, right? It's the studio's first game. Of course, there's going to be a little jank in the tank. And just to be clear, I'm playing a review build. Thank you for the review copy, by the way. I am playing a review build of this game. I don't know if this game's been updated after the fact. At the time of recording this, the game comes out tomorrow, so there might be like a day one patch or something. But there are some visual glitches here and there. When I would like run upstairs, I would always get stuck on the last step in the game. Whenever I would hit an enemy, it would like freeze for a second. Just like little things like that that I'm absolutely willing to overlook because, again, it's the studio's first game, and the game is also just really good. It's the vibes, man. It really is. Something that I can't really get across with words is the vibes and sort of the energy of this game. And again, there's a ton of dialogue and a ton of great story moments too that I don't want to spoil and I don't want to show out, on the video. Like, there are magical moments in this game that shouldn't be missed. I highly recommend this game if you love 3D platformers. If you're excited for Donkey Kong, like, this could be a good thing to kind of, it's a good little stopgate there. If you're just looking for new, fresh ideas in video games, definitely play Ruffy. It has the sauce. It is absolutely a special video game. Have you played Ruffy in the Riverside? Are you looking forward to playing Ruffy in the Riverside? Let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions about the game, anything that I didn't quite cover in the video, I'd be happy to answer. This is my first, review on the channel here, by the way. This is the first review copy I've ever received. So kind of a special milestone here. I'm glad that you're a part of it. I'm glad that you're watching. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any feedback for me, please let me know. And again, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, party on.